Welcome in to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital. My name is Landon, and no Austin on today's show. Man, he just could not take the loss. I'm joking, but as we kind of recap Mississippi State and Texas, Mississippi State drops a game at home. Last game at Humphrey Coliseum for the season, 87-82 in overtime. Mississippi State played well in the last really 5 or 6 minutes of the game, but honestly, for the most part, the offense was really lacking. And State had a really difficult time shutting down Trey Johnson, which he's a top five, top seven pick in the NBA draft here in just a couple of months. So that part is understandable. But Mississippi State really struggled. Also struggled slowing down Tremont Mark as well, who had 24. Trey Johnson had 23, and Johnson hit six of 9 3-pointers. So uh, we talked about it coming into this game. Honestly, a couple of weeks ago, we kind of mentioned that Mississippi State did not match up well with this Texas team, and Texas Trey Johnson shoots. I think has the fourth best efficiency from three in the SEC. So he shoots the ball really efficiently from three, and State obviously really struggles slowing teams down from three. In fact, State or Texas had 47%, 48% from 3-point range tonight. Mississippi State 24%. They were 6 of 25 from three, and that just will not do. They were led by Josh Hubbard, who was scoreless in the first half and then had 16 in the second half, but only had one 3-pointer. He was 3 for 12 shooting the ball, 9 of 10 from free throws, and so Josh Hubbard just not efficient as State's leading scorer. We'll talk about some of the other parts in this game, and then kind of give you a kind of rundown of where State is after whenever we take a break after our first break in the show. To kind of talk about where Mississippi State is kind of going forward into their game Saturday, the season finale on the road in Arkansas. So we will get to that here in just a moment. But before we do, want to let you know that this show is brought to you in part by Arpa's Coffee. Arpa's Coffee Bar there in Starkville is a excellent spot to go. I was looking for my Arpa's mug and I realized I just washed it, so it is in the kitchen. But Arpa's is a great locally owned business in Starkville. It's in the heart of the Cotton District. Listen, mention that you are a listener of the My Dogs Are Barking podcast, and you get a 15% off discount. Not a bad deal. If you've never tried Arpa's, go in there, use the discount. 15% off is not a bad deal to try something. If you have tried Arpa's, you already know how good it is. So that is a great deal. But I mean, all throughout this game, Mississippi State had trouble stopping the three. And like I said, Trey Johnson, 6 of 9 from three. That dude already is getting pretty good NIL, but he's about to be straight up rich going into the NBA here in just a couple of months as a lottery pick. But hey, we always ask the same question, man. What does it even mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Skip Langley is your Batesville, Mississippi Edward Jones financial advisor, serving clients in the area and across the state. Count on him for financial strategies that can help you support a life you love. Because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. So contact Skip today at 662-563-9843, and together you can find your rich. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Um, all night, Mississippi State had really struggled shooting the ball. I mean, really, Kugel was 1 for 5 from three. Claudell Harris had some moments, but overall from three, I think he was, he's one. No, he's 0 for 3. Sorry, no, he was 0 for 3. Only had 2 points as well. Keyshawn Murphy had another good game. Was very efficient, with his very efficient with his shots, 6 for 10. Did take a three and just could not hit it. State has just got to figure it out. RJ Melendez was the best 3-point shooter. He was 3 for 6 on the night. Kugel had a number of open 3-pointers, and he was just 1 for 5. That's where State lost this game. Defensively, I mean, you can say what you will, but like State had several open shots and missed it. And when you think about this team going forward, there's that old saying that says, people will tell you who they are by how they act. So believe them. I think there's some wisdom in that statement, and that's a much deeper thing than tournament basketball. But I think that's kind of where we are at Mississippi State. They're going to tell you who they are. They're showing you who they are. They're a team that has got some big quad one wins towards the beginning of the season. But when it comes to facing competition over this last half of the season, teams have figured out that Josh Hubbard's not hitting the shots that he typically does, And if they can shut him down, you have to count on Kugel beating you or RJ Melendez beating you. And he might, one out of 5 times one of them might do that. And they have before the season. But those other times they're going to miss those shots. And State's going to be in real trouble. And I think that's kind of where we are with Mississippi State. State has 7 quad one wins. And I don't think fans maybe recognize how big of a deal that is, like in terms of the scope of NCAA tournament teams. 7 quad one wins is huge. And look, 8 of State's all 8 of State's quad one losses are to quad one teams. Or all 8 of their losses in conference are all quad one teams. So um, State has lost. Well, and I didn't even think about it, but tonight has not gone into effect. So I guess now there's only one of them was not a quad one opponent. Texas was quad 2, so they're not quad 3. They were looking like it was going to be a quad 3 team earlier in the season. But State just really has a disappointing game losing tonight to Texas at home in a night where you really wanted Cam Matthews to get through. And look, when it counted, State's defense really, really applied full court pressure well. And then Kugel has a chance to take the lead at 83-82. He gets fouled, got two shots at the line, missed them both. And Texas goes on the other end and is able to hit a shot, and that just kind of sunk State's boat. When it counted, that they made some plays, but they just could not make the plays that counted. And unfortunately, when you think about good teams, that's what good teams do. They win the game. Good teams win when it really matters. So State comes up short in this one, and really a disappointing loss, because now the State loses this game. They're this morning a 7 seed, represented as a 7 seed, kind of paired up facing West Virginia, according to Joe Lunardi this morning. The winner of that game's matched up with Michigan State, the 2 seed. So not an ideal situation, but now you lose this and it gets a lot worse, because now Mississippi State is. I said this on last week's show on Thursday. State it looks like they're barreling towards an 8-9 matchup. They just have been over the past couple of weeks. They got that win versus A&M. They matched up well against them, and ever since then they have just been kind of spiraling in their trajectory to go towards an 8 seed. And I feel like that's where State's going. And if they lose to Arkansas on Saturday, which we'll cover that in just a second, you're flirting with a 9 seed. I wouldn't count on it. I think State probably at this point is likely an 8 seed. But I think unless they go to Nashville and win 2 games, I don't think they're getting back to that 7 seed line. I think they're likely an 8 seed at this point. But overall, what else can you say from this game? State played good defense towards the very end, but they just allowed too many open shots with this team. And really, you really had 2 guys beat you. Is Trey Johnson and Tremont Mark. Tremont Mark was 4 for 6 from 3. Trey Johnson was 6 of 9 from 3. Everybody else on the team was a combined, what would that be? 1 and 6 from 3 outside of those guys. So you're talking those 2 guys really were the primary people that beat you in this game. And it's unfortunate. And look, you don't need to say, well, if we would have had this call, we would have had that call. In the end, what if you made the open threes? What if you made the free throws, So State fans have to be disappointed with this one, but they do have an opportunity on Saturday, and Mississippi State has a chance to go on the road and play John Calipari in Arkansas, who, I mean, you talk about spiraling. Now, as this is being played, they are trailing in a game versus Vanderbilt on the road, which that win for Mississippi State looks better and better as the days go. So we're going to take a quick break. Hear some messages from MPW Digital. Then we'll come back and talk about Arkansas matchup right after that.
All MPW Digital podcasts are brought to you by our friends at Parish Brewing Company, located in the heart of Cajun country in Broussard, Louisiana. Parish Brewing Company's simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it remarkably well. The doctor is introducing their new go-to IPA, Dr. Juice. It's a highly crushable juice bomb, dry hopped with a blend of their favorite hand-selected hops from the Yakima Valley in Washington. Dr. Juice's drinkability is sneaky good, considering it clocks in at 6% ABV. The pour glows a rich cantaloupe hue with a thick frosted haze, soft mouthfeel, an aroma and taste that's full of passion fruit, papaya, and blood orange, making it drink like a glass of freshly squeezed juice. They also have Ghost in the Machine. It's a double IPA brewed with obscene quantities of hand-selected Citra hops from Yakima Valley. Expect pungent grapefruit flavors and aromas, tropical fruit, less harsh bitterness than most IPAs. Again, it's Parish Brewing Company. Wherever you get your beer, check out Parish. Make sure that you look for them, because any beer that you get from Parish is going to be absolutely outstanding. Thank you from MPW Digital. We're brought to you by Easy Hemp Company. Easy is a hemp-infused sparkling water. It's a guilt-free alcohol alternative, a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural. Made with real fruit, no added sugar, low calories, gluten-free. One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of THC. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare and control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit easyhempco.com to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. Easy is Farm Bill compliant with hemp derived from THC, CBD extracts. Easy is for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly.
And welcome back to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital. And as we kind of put the final segment of the show, Mississippi State travels to Arkansas. It's 11 a.m. tip on Saturday in a game where State takes on the Razorbacks. At this moment, this is being recorded. Arkansas has taken the lead. They're leading Vanderbilt at half, just kind of narrowly. But Arkansas is coming off of a loss on the road to to South Carolina by 21 points. South Carolina is the worst team in the league. And honestly, before that, Arkansas played really well. They had beaten Texas in overtime. They had beaten Missouri at home. They had lost against Auburn by 7 on the road, lost to A&M by 7 as well on the road, and then lost to Bama only by 4 points. I mean, they have gotten better as the season has progressed. This is a team that beat Kentucky, that's now beaten Texas twice, beat Georgia, so beat Michigan earlier on in the season. That's going to be very helpful later on. So it's a team that has several guys that can score. And for Mississippi State, I think the biggest problem is you have several guys who can score, right? But you also have a big guy, a rim protector down low. And we've said it all season, like the Big Z is who I'm talking about for Arkansas. And then Arkansas, think of the people that they have that they can score. John L. Davis, Brazil, Carter Knox can knock them down. DJ Wagner, Jonas Adu. Like they have several players who are really, really good, and you can score from different angles. And then, like I said, they also have that rim protection that State struggles with, because they do not have a true. They do have a true. Nwoko is a true center, but he's not a rim protector, and that's something that would be very helpful for this team. But they just, at this moment, they just don't have it. So you have to look at that game versus Arkansas as if you do not want to. Again, I don't think you can avoid the 8 seed at this point. I think that's kind of set in stone unless you just go on a run. But Arkansas at this moment in the net is a 47. So a loss to them is going to hurt you. They are let's see. So if they were net 47, then that means, yeah. So they're quad one. It's a game on the road. So it's quad one opportunity for Mississippi State to get a win there in Arkansas. But again, you think about what you see from this team thus far, and it just, the trajectory in which they're going, especially compared to Arkansas, take the South Carolina game out of it, is just quite the opposite. Arkansas seems to be trending up until that game versus South Carolina, and State seems to be trending in the wrong direction. Their shooting has not gotten better. Their defense has not gotten better throughout the season. And then Josh Hubbard just can't seem to shoot the same way he did, and his supporting cast is not able to hit shots consistently. So I'm a little confused. This team is so back and forth and inconsistent. And sometimes you get that out of the transfer portal because you have so many different people that are coming in from different situations. It's hard to build chemistry. Some teams do it really well, but you can get a lot of this up and down type of type of play, and that's what Mississippi State's experiencing right now. With Arkansas, again, they're fighting with tooth and nail to get back into the tournament. And if they win versus Vanderbilt tonight, it'll start to look a little bit better in terms of being on the bubble. If they get the win versus Mississippi State, I think that they're in as long as they take care of some sort of business in Nashville, at least from Joe Lunardi's type of explanation. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because Arkansas is going to try everything they can to get into the tournament, and Texas, we saw what Texas was like tonight. Had their backs against the wall, and Mississippi State could not respond and win. I mean, they're in the tournament. They've got their spot locked up, but the seeding is a big problem. And here's where we'll finish. This is kind of the reason why seeding is important for Mississippi State. I think the goal. I mean, this is going to be the third straight time Chris Jans has gotten Mississippi State into the tournament, which is a huge, huge win. I'd have to look back and remember when Stansbury did that. I know he went back to back and they missed in 2010. They went to the NIT and lost to North Carolina. So he went 2 years in a row there. I'm trying to think did that 02, 03, 04 team go? I can't think at the moment. But anyway, the reason why seeding is so important is because I think the goal for Mississippi State and Chris Jans is to win a game in the NCAA tournament. That's really what they need to show some sort of progress. Otherwise, you've gotten there 3 years in a row, which is huge, but then you've gotten bounced in the first round. And seeding is so important because State in an 8-9 matchup is just, we saw it last year. Obviously, those games can go either way, but you really were hoping for a team that just kind of barely snuck into the tournament and for State to be a 6 seed and get an 11 and someone that played in the play-in and, something like that. So State has a better opportunity to get an extra win, and they're just making it harder and harder on themselves to get a win in the NCAA tournament. So State needs to try hard to get to a 7 seed. I think they're destined to be 8-9. And I joked earlier in the week, but you watch. A team right now that's mocked to be a 9 seed is UConn, the back-to-back defending national champions. You watch. Mississippi State is going to be an 8 seed. They're going to be matched up with back-to-back national champions UConn, and Dan Hurley is going to be very excited to see Josh Hubbard and the fellas just to kind of scheme something up for them. But we will see. I think in the end, I don't have enough confidence to say State has the ability to win at Arkansas right now. Calipari's just done a great job coaching against State, and I have trouble thinking that State can get the win for how they're playing right now. And the amount of guys that can score and score, from three, they're not like an outstandingly good 3-point team, which is good. Is what Mississippi State wants. But State gives your team so many opportunities for open looks, as we saw tonight, that it just makes you worried. So I don't have faith that Mississippi State can get that win at the moment. We'll see. I mean, you have several days of rest before Saturday, and then you got a plane ride up there probably on Friday. And then get it going for 11 a.m. tip on Saturday. So let me know your thoughts where you are Mississippi State seeding. I think that's the biggest question I have for fans is where do you think this team is? And on top of that, can they win a game in the NCAA tournament? Obviously, matchups are a big thing, right? I mean, it's everything. So it's kind of hard to answer that question. But I guess it's like that Texas team tonight. Like I could see if they snuck in, get an 11 seed, a 12 seed. And Trey Johnson just has a night shooting from three where he's an NBA talent. Texas could win a game in the NCAA tournament for sure. You go down the list like Georgia. I don't think Georgia has the talent to win an NCAA tournament game. So where does that leave Mississippi State? How would you answer that question? So let us know in the comments. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. It's just at MyDawgsPod. Make sure you subscribe to us on Substack. And also subscribe to MPW Digital, wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Music. We're on a plethora of different streaming services. So make sure you subscribe to MPW Digital. And look, this is the most exciting time of the year. We'll have a lot of really, really fun tournament coverage and breakdown coverage going into the matchups in Nashville. We'll kind of break down each game and break down the first round, I should say, and kind of look at the bracket with Austin. We'll see about getting some guests in here. And very excited, man. Hey, it's March, so that's very a good time, man. It's one of the best times to be alive is fall during football season. Get the breeze in the air, and then got March, some of that cold weather getting out of there. You got all this kind of basketball on every single day. Like even the women's tournament starts Wednesday night, and Mississippi State will be playing Wednesday night. And like I'm ready to watch that. I'm just ready to watch tournament basketball, the one and done. This is it, win or go home. And it's a good time to be alive. So make sure you follow us on all platforms. We thank you so much for listening to My Dogs Are Barking podcast, and we will holler at you next time.